Good morning. Today we are correcting PO16. I can add and subtract fractions. What was the big thing we needed to know about adding and subtracting fractions? Liv? First, we have to have a common denominator, and then that denominator stays the same. We don't ever add the denominators together. You only add or subtract the numerator. So you find your common denominator, and then it stays the same. So let's look at our answers. And remember that final step, always simplify. So if you can simplify your answer, you want to make sure to simplify. So on our top row, we have 4/5, 6/7, 1/2, 5/13, and 3/10. So if you left your answer as 6/20, would that be correct on the test? No, we have to simplify. Always simplify. So if you forgot to simplify or you did not simplify down all the way that you could go, it will be wrong on the test. So always simplify. Any questions on that top row? All right, middle row, 11/15, 1/18, 3/16, and 1 1/20. If you left it as 21/20 and you did not turn it into that mixed number, I would be okay with that. So if you had 21/20, that would be okay. Any questions on the middle row? Okay, bottom row, 19/20, 25/24, or 1 1/24, 13/50, and 25/28. Any questions on that row? All right, so let's look at that bottom. What two fractions with different denominators can add to be 9/20? What is something that someone came up with? Lauren? 1/5 plus 1/4. Well, we want to find that common denominator of 20 for both of those. So to go from 5 to 20, we have to multiply by 4. 4 times 1 is 4. To go from 4 to 20, we multiply by 5. 1 times 5 is 5. I add them together and I get 9/20. Can somebody come up with a different one? Because this is one of those things where there's not just one correct answer. This one I did walk us through as a class. So a lot of us probably got that same one because we did it together. But if you came up with a different one, that's what we want to hear about. This bottom one, subtracting to be 9/20, we might have some different answers. Who can tell me what answer you got? What two fractions can we subtract to equal 9/20? We should all have an answer because I walked around and people had stuff written down. What fractions did you put? Be brave. Who can share? Did none of you do it? Uh-oh. Do I need to change some of these to missings? Because this was our assignment.
I did one. I just put mine with the same denominator.
Oh, you forgot the different denominators? So on the test, that would be wrong. Thank you for being brave and sharing that with us. Callie?
And I accidentally did 30 minus 10 for the bottom. So
You forgot to keep the denominator the same? Yep. So these are good things that we're catching. Thank you for being brave and sharing that. Let's look at, remember when we talked about 4/20 plus 5/20 would get us to that 9/20, and then we simplified to 1/5 plus 1/4. Let's see, Dom, what did you have if you kept your denominator as 20? What did you have? What subtracted by what? So what did you have as the numerators?
19%.
So 19/20 minus 10/20 equals 9/20. I'm looking at this and I see that's a good starting point, but if we look here, we can simplify. So they would have different denominators. What could I simplify 10/20 to, Dom? A half. So I could say 19/20 minus a half equals 9/20. So you had the first step. That's exactly what you should do. You should have it with the same denominator and then see what can we simplify. If we came up with two fractions that we can't simplify, then try it again. Find a fraction that you can simplify, and then all you have to do is simplify it, and you have two different denominators. So one of them could have stayed 20, because it doesn't say it couldn't be 20, it just has to be two different. So 20 and 2 are two different denominators. So you were on the right track, you just had to take it one step further to simplify one of those fractions. Who can come up with another set of fractions that we can use to equal 9/20? So right now, if you have your whiteboard, get out your whiteboard. And if you are watching this at home, I'm gonna say, make sure you came up with two fractions with different denominators, because we will see this again on the test. So make sure you come up with your own way of simplifying fractions so they have different denominators, that if we give a common denominator of 20, we will equal 9/20. So if you're watching at home, I hope you are well. I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.